Make sure we're live. Hey, just getting started here in a second. Leave in the chat if the video quality is really crappy. I'm trying to make sure the video quality is okay. It's kind of stuttering on what I can see, but it says excellent connection. So I just want to make sure. Yeah, excellent connection. Let's see, RPA developer, hashtag Automation Anywhere. Cool. All right. So the use case here is there was a letter generation bot that we did yesterday. Today we're going to be looking. You're not receiving a video. So today we're going to be looking at actually sending out that letter. So the bot build that we did yesterday, this goes through and builds a letter. So it does a lookup. I'll show you one of these letters. It's a proof of funds letter. So what the bot does, and this is designed to be an AARI use case, AARI, so Automation Anywhere Robotic Interface. The bot goes to a Eagle One Financial website, which is this one. It will go here, it will look up that person based on their ID. So let's put in this person, right? It will grab their account number, it will grab their account type, it will grab their balance. It will also make an API call, you know, kind of simulated to find their savings account information. So there's kind of two sides of it. There's the investment side, and then there's also the savings side. But it's going to grab all of that data, and then it's going to put it together in this proof of funds template, and the output of which is right here, right? So it's going to say these are all the account numbers. These are the different account types. Again, each with its matching account number. This is the total balance they have across all of their accounts. And then here's their name, here's their amount, stuff like that. So that's what we're doing here. So the next part of our bot build is actually going to be emailing that letter out. So we have the letter. That's going to be one of our bots that AARI would call. And then this, excuse me, this send proof of funds letter is the second bot that AARI would call. And the idea would be that a user would, you know, first invoke that bot by giving a customer ID, and then we'll probably do some kind of verification, like, hey, if the you know, total amount of funds they have is above, let's say 150,000, right? Just an arbitrary number. We want the user to visually review to make sure everything looks like it's correct. And in that way, we can make sure that we have all of their information correctly stored before we send out that letter. So that's probably what we'll do for the second part. I'm building using a template here. I'm gonna close my. Just gonna close this real quick because it seems like memory is super precious here. 100% of CPU. I'm going to guess that this stream isn't looking great. Let me end this. All right. If you're in the chat, give some feedback on the stream. I think it's, I don't know. If this doesn't work, then I won't do it anymore. But I just wanted to see. All right, so I'm using a template here. This is actually available on the Automation Anywhere GitHub. And it is the bot store template that we have. So this one right here, A2019 bot store template. I wrote this one myself and put it up there. But basically what it is, it has at first a part where you just fill in a bot name and a vendor name. For you, that might be, hey, the name of your bot. And then here, I'm just going to put Automation Anywhere. It could be your company name. It could be what group you work for internally, right? Like HR or IT or something like that. The reason that we have both of those values is this template is set up to automatically log. So if we go to %program data %, that's just a shorthand to get us to the program data directory. Within the Automation Anywhere folder, this is where that will log. So I go to bots and then logs. These are all using that template that I'm showing right now. So here's one that, you know, obviously wasn't renamed. It just says bot name, vendor name. The letter generation bot that I was testing and finishing up yesterday, that's right here, right? And so it's recording snapshots of what the screen looked like at that time. It's also doing the logging of every time there's an error. And you could expand this to do audit logging and things like that. But every time we were getting an error yesterday, this is where it was logging. So I use this template because it follows that same pattern, right? Every single time. I know it's going to create the folders that it needs to here. In addition to creating those, so here it's setting up those different logging folders and logging locations. In addition to that, though, it's also clearing out old logs. And so it's doing log management. And it's basically saying, hey, after 30 days, I'm going to get rid of any of the older log files and clip those out. So that's what's going on. Now, if we look here at the try catch, right? This is where like the shell kind of ends and your logic begins. So in the try block is where you would put all of your actual code that you want to execute, right? The catch block, you can modify if you want to, but this is where it's actually doing that logging to the pre-established log folders. This is where it's capturing the snapshot, stuff like that. So you don't have to touch that part. You can technically just leave the catch block alone. And really you just need to worry about the error handler try block. So, and the comment even says all your bot logic goes here. So this is really the only part that you have to customize. Again, in the chat, let me know if the video's stuttering or anything, and I'll see if I can fix it. But my machine seems to be maxing out once I'm streaming and bot building. Okay, so what I mentioned is this is kind of the continuation of yesterday, and this is the secondary bot. So what we want this bot to do is actually grab the email, grab the file that we created in that letter generation process. We want to grab that file. We wanted to email it out based on an email address that is input to this bot. So we'll start off with the input variables. Let's say s input email, or let's say, I'm just going to say email address. And I'm going to postfix this with an underscore input, just so I have a record, you know, mentally I can remember this is an input value. I try to do that. Sometimes I forget. So, you know, my variables are not always perfectly mixed. And then I think I forgot to check that box. Oh no, I did. Input. All right. The other one is going to be s letter location. That's also going to be an input. So again, this is just going to like fire off an email of an attachment. And so we want to make sure we have both the email address coming in and the location of the file. We also want the person's name. So let's input that. Let's just say customer name. And we'll also mark that as an input. Okay, so we have those. I think that should be all we need. So the first thing we need to do, let's go to the email commands here. So let's first check to make sure the file exists. We want to make sure the bot is going to responsibly handle that. I'm going to go right here to if, and let's add a step to do this too, just so we can make sure it's perfectly clean. Check for file, and then the next step would be to send email. So this one won't be terribly complicated, but you know, I'd rather check for the file to be missing so I can at least know what's happening, and that way I can also throw an error that's like a little bit more elegant of a description as opposed to like whatever error handling description would come by default. We're going to say if file exists, the file path is going to be that input value that we just set. So input letter location, and then actually I think we should check the opposite. Let's do if file does not exist, because in that case we want to throw the error, otherwise we'll just let it keep going. So leave that, and then I'll hit save. Okay, so we got that. Here I'm going to go back to my error handler, and I'm going to add a throw here. So if the file does not exist, the exception message should be provided file path does not actually exist. Verify the export took place correctly from the letter generation process. I don't know why those are capitalized. All right. We recommend that you use a bitrate stream. Let me see what's going on here. Current bitrate is below. All right, we'll just keep going. All right, so we've got that saved. So that'll throw the error, and that will log it. We'll probably also set a, let's set an output value of like success or something. Let's say B task succeeded. Is that right? How about success? All right, we'll make this a Boolean. This is going to be an output value. And again, this is an AARI use case. So we'll use this as the information that we need to make decisions within AARI. And if you haven't used AARI yet, you know, part of it is this process builder. And so the process builder allows us to do some basic logic, you know, checking for values, and then take actions accordingly. And that action might be to get a human involved again. It might be to run another bot. It might be to do something like that. And so that's where we're going to make sure that we, you know, are getting the values out of this process that we need, so that we can make sure that the process builder that we're going to use can respond accordingly, right? And whether that's getting another human involved or running another bot to, you know, maybe rerunning this letter generation bot, that would be an option. Let's see, if we're going to do that, I think we'll just do it like this right now. All right, so send email. And this really shouldn't be all that crazy of a process. If we go to the email package and the, let's go to send. I think we probably have to connect. Do we have to connect first? Let's look at what's needed here. Send via Outlook. We'll leave it like that for right now. I don't think you have to actually establish a connection first. I think that's only for reading. let's do it like this. So our to address is going to be that input value that we just mentioned. So that will be S email address input. The subject will be requested proof of funds letter from, we called it Eagle One Financial. You know, I didn't look up to see if Eagle One Financial is a real thing before I started using that. I just kind of made it up. Oh man, please don't be real. I'll take my chances. They don't look like they're going to come after me. I used a totally different logo. I totally made that up, and same with the address and everything like that. So hopefully Eagle One isn't litigious. All right. So requested proof of funds letter from Eagle One Financial. And then for the attachment, we're going to give the path to that letter, which would be letter location here. And then for the actual message body, we'll do a plain text one. I don't want this to go green. The HTML ones can look really cool. The challenge that I've had with them is that the entire HTML body, everything has to be in a single line of text, and you can't have any carriage returns or line breaks or things like that. And as much as that's easy to convert, like after the fact, you know, the format of authoring emails to work across email providers in HTML is kind of a nightmare. So I'm gonna, for right now, we'll just do this as a regular message. So we're gonna say, dear, we had the person's name sent in, I think. Yeah, customer name. Please find the requested proof of funds verification letter attached. It's been our pleasure to serve you here at Eagle One Financial, and we're happy to call you a member. Thanks again. And I'm just going to copy the signature I had before. Eagle One Customer Service. Put this. Well, that got kind of screwed up. Let's fix that. You know, this doesn't look like it supports any kind of rich text. I guess that's because it's not HTML and it's just plain. All right, let's go back there. All right, so Eagle One Customer Service is who that email comes from, even though it's going to have my email address. All right, so that should be good. It's going to send that via Outlook. Let's go ahead and test that. I'm going to provide those details. Let me get the path to one of these files. I think it's right here. Copy path. So we're going to send a letter to Ryan Nisus. Let's go ahead and run this. So email address, I'm just going to put my own. Letter location is going to be right there. We'll get rid of the quotes. And then customer name, we'll put Ryan Nisus. And then hit confirm. And let's see what happens. Now we won't see anything pop up and tell us that we got an error here because we're using that error handler, right? We're using the try catch. So if we do get an error, we should see that in the program data directory that I showed you a second ago. So let's see what happens here. And if there's any questions on this, let me know, or we can go over the bot from yesterday. Let's look at our logs. We called this one send POF email. So we don't, oh, there it is. So it means it probably failed. Let's take a look at this. No, it just created the folders, I forgot. All right, so let's take a look at the email that was sent. Stream might drop off here because my machine is maxed out when I'm streaming. Nope, that's not it. No, that's not it. Let's see, I should have sent myself an email here. I should probably bring this to the other screen. I don't need everyone to see all my emails here. Not that there's anything that is that secretive. Let me go to sent. Maybe it showed up there. No, so why did it not send? All right, let's, I think I'm optional in that meeting. Let's try to move this all outside of our, so what I'll do here is I'm going to move this send email part outside of the try catch block. Let's do that for check file too. So I'm only doing this so that any errors are not suppressed. Oh, there it is. It actually came through. All right. So please find the requested proof of funds letter attached. It's been our pleasure to serve you here at Eagle One Financial. We're happy to call you a member. Thanks again. Okay. I wonder if that can't be a real address. I made that up. What? No way. Okay, there's not a real street called Tuscan Leather Drive. All right, anyway, so here's the proof of funds letter that we had requested. That worked. Perfect. So now we get to the part that is a little bit more complex. We have to figure out how to put those two bots together. So just for some, let's save the, oh wait, we don't have to save it. We're going to put that, I want to put this back inside the error handler because it actually worked okay. All right, there we go. We got to figure out how to tie those two together, right? So the letter generation bot goes through, it does all these lookups. It goes to this Eagle One Financial here. It's going to search for the person. It's going to find all of their matching accounts. It'll read back their email address, all this kind of stuff. And it's going to add all of these up. It's going to grab all the account numbers. It's going to grab all the account types. So it generates that letter, and then we send the letter. Now, the purpose of this was to create an AARI bot. And to do that, we need to use the process builder. So let's go here to process. And let's say, we'll call this proof of funds process. And I want to save that. I'm putting all this in bot store just because eventually that's where it'll probably end up. Proof of funds process. So AARI web process for proof of funds. We'll hit create and edit. Nothing is better than watching someone slowly say things out loud in a live stream while they type it. Okay. So the process is up right now. It's just kind of a dummy process. We have to build some forms that will support this, and I'm going off of memory here. So we have to select an initial data form. We're gonna have to create one for that. So let me go. We'll save this. We have it already. We'll just close. Yeah, it's got an error because it doesn't do anything right now. Let me add a form. So let's do create new form, and this will be our entry point form. So let's call this enter customer ID. Okay. Now the only thing we actually want to have on this form is honestly just an input field. So let's go to text box. We'll drag that over here. For the label, let's call that enter customer ID. For the hint below the field, let's say 4-digit customer identification number. Oh, I can't. Let's do it here. 4-digit customer ID number. So apparently Eagle One Financial, who is this fake bank that I made up here, doesn't have a lot of customers because they only have 4 digits for their customer ID. So we'll put this as a character max of 4 and a min of 4. Does that work? Min must be, well, that doesn't make sense. So we'll do 3, 4. It is required. We don't want to mask it. We don't want to have a default value. All right, let's save that. So that will be our entry point into AARI Web. So when that process gets kicked off, it gets kicked off by someone entering a customer ID. So let's see, the process from there would be that the first bot would run, which is our letter generation, and then let's do a data check. And that data check would say, does the person have more than 150,000 in funds? If they do, then we're going to need another form to display for a human to manually review. So let's go back here to AARI for Web. Let's create new form again. And we'll call this verify funds. Create and edit. Okay, and then does the chat even work? Okay, and then from there, let's go ahead and add the data that we would need. Now, I'm not positive how to do this off the top of my head because I had a couple ideas for the way we could do this. One, I'm passing over a list of all the account numbers and the account types, but I don't know if you can display a list into a table or not. What is dynamic? Render dynamically? I'm not going to go for that. Let's see table right here. So column title. I'm probably going to have to look this up. Default value. Yeah, I'll have to figure out how exactly to fill this correctly. So for right now, I'm just going to do it with a just text boxes. We'll do it more complex later, but I'm going to have to read up on that because I'm not sure how to do list data into a table off the top of my head. Let's just do text boxes. So the first one will be customer name. Now we'll do customer ID, and we'll make that one read only. Uneditable. Okay. The next one will be customer name. Actually, none of this should be editable. We'll let them set the total account value just to make it a little bit tricky. Should I just put this in a T? Nah, we'll just keep going. All right. Account IDs. Let's put, we're going to make that uneditable. Actually, we'll make that editable. If someone wants to really update that part, we'll let them. Account types would be the next one. account types, and we'll let that be editable. And then the next one will be account types. Oh, we don't need text area. The last one would be like account total value. So do we have anything for number? Yeah, right there. I think I'm going to maintain that. I guess we can put that here. Allow negative, no. Decimals. Number of places should be 2. Suffix would be, that's really going to complex. Let's see. Let's try it. We'll see what happens. Oh, prefix. Let's do this. So $sign there. And then number would be total account value. How about total value of accounts? And then we're going to let that be updatable. It has to be required too. And then the last thing we'll show is there like a horizontal rule? No. I'll put one more text box, which will be the path to the file. Generated letter, and that's uneditable. All right, I'm going to take a screenshot of this because when we actually build this in the process and I have to go fill everything in, I'm probably going to forget all of those fields. So let's go back here. Got a screenshot of that on the other screen. And then hit close. All right, so that should take us to the process builder component of this. And we might have to play around with that a little bit because I'm not going to remember all of the fields that we have set up everywhere. So we might be going back and forth. If you have any questions, though, put them in the chat. Or if there's something else you want to look at, we can do that. All right, so our initial form is going to be the enter customer ID. Displayed as a reference. So request is an instance of a process. So let's say I think it can't. I think that's what shows up in AARI web. So we'll try that and we'll see what happens. All right, we'll save that. Okay, the next thing we want to do is a bot task. So at this process entry, someone's going to enter a ID number for a customer. At that point, we want to run the letter generation process. So research and letter, oh wait, this is only used as a reference during design. Okay, so here's what we want to say. Research and letter generation. Here we'll just do the same thing. All right, and then for selecting the bot, that will be our bot store and AARI letter generation bot here. Hit confirm. All right, for the input, customer account numbers, that's not supposed to be an input. The only one we need is this one. This part is a little bit screwy for like having to first learn this, but it will be the initial data and then the enter customer ID, right? And the form that we just set up, that's the like what we called it. And text box 0 was its like unique identifier on that form. So the string that is coming from that form is what we're going to fill in here. So I'm just going to hit add, and that will put our input as the ID. So let's hit apply. Let's hit save. I'm going to go back here. I'm not going to delete that yet. Let's go back and look at this process because I want to make sure that those fields are not input. It was like customer account numbers, I think, and maybe the types. I'm just going to check those. They're supposed to be output, not input. Okay, that's neither. Neither. Oh, maybe. Oh no, it's probably the string versions. Count type. Nope. Nope. Well, oh yeah, here we go. That's supposed to be output. And then probably this one. That's output. The one after it, types. This has got to be output, not input. There we go. All right, so that's fixed. Hit save. All right, and the value that is coming out of our process, we're gonna, excuse me, we're gonna look for n running total, and that's an output. So I'm gonna copy that for right now. We want to make a decision within our process based on that value, and I think we can do that. So let's do an if-else pair. So this is after our letter generation process has actually run. We'll do two if conditions. So the first is going to be validating customer. So validating success. Validating letter generation success. So our condition is going to be Boolean, and we're going to look for the variable, which is going to be an output of research letter gen, and that right here, match customer. Perfect, that worked. And then we'll say if that is equal to true, then that will be this. Otherwise, yeah, failed to be the correct. So letter all right. Research and letter generation was unable to identify customer. So that's where we're going to actually just end that process, because if we ran it and someone entered a bad customer ID, we don't want to move forward. So let's hit apply there. All right. The next thing we need to do is check to see if that value that came out is greater than, let's say, I don't know, let's look at the letters that we generated already, see if there's like a hit point that we can determine that would be good for this process. So this one is 272,000. This one is 93. So let's do the 100,000. Let's say for our next if else. So again, this is assuming we got a success. Put this right here. Why is that not working? What is going on? I cannot have if else. Does it work up here? That's weird. So I can add one above, but I can't add one below. Great. What if I just move? Can I move this one? Apply. No, I can't. All right, let's recreate this one then. So this was our validating letter generation success. That's only displayed internally. So we're gonna, that's the one that I think can't have spaces. And then we'll copy this here. This is what will show within the AARI web. And we're gonna say if Boolean, our variable that was coming out of our bot, was research letter gen output, and right here was that Boolean value. And again, that's just checking to see if we had a success that we found that customer. So if that equals to true, then we'll continue on to our next if statement. Otherwise, we'll go off to this failure. And the failed message here was this. We might build this out to actually do like some logging or something, but for right now, that'll be fine. All right, so here we want to change this one to validating customer amount total. And we'll put that here. And then here will be a number evaluation. So our source value will be again coming out of research and letter generation. Output, running total, perfect. And then if we're going to say that is greater than 100, 1, 2, 3. So if that value is greater than 100, we're going to go here where we're going to have another human task. And that human task is going to be, let's see, I don't remember what we called it. Let's say validate funds process. What did we call the first one? I guess we don't have a name for it. All right. Validate high funds process. And we'll say validating what is it? High funds? I guess that works. High funds will work. All right. For the form, this will be the same form that we just did a second ago. So it's going to be bot store right here. AARI for web. Why is our form not showing up? Let's hit save. Let's go back here. So we have some stuff that we have not addressed yet. I don't know what the process error is there. All right, let's go back to look at our form that we created. I thought we created two, right? Oh, where'd it go? Where's that form? Ah, it's right here. Both of them are right here. What am I doing? Let's copy these over to the bot store directory. That was my fault. So we're going to put those right here. Verify funds. We'll do the same thing with that other form. I screwed that one up. So right here, let's copy form. We'll move that over to bot store into the AARI web. Confirm. Copy. All right, so now back in our process. Sorry about that. We'll go to start. This, I'm gonna have to select a new one because I didn't get it out of bot store before. So it'd be this is my new customer ID form. Hit save. This one would now be the one inside of my bot store A2019. This would be the verify funds form. All right, so feeding data into the form. That's what we took a screenshot, right? So right here, this was a screenshot of that form. Customer ID, name, account IDs, account types, total value of accounts, and generated letters. So we're gonna feed in that data. So customer ID, which is text box 0. Again, the way that these two kind of match up is here is customer ID. I named it customer ID. The element name itself is text box 0. That's just like the automatically system generated one. So that's fine. I'm just going to leave that. And then let's see, that data would come out of, actually it is my initial data. That would be the same customer ID. So for that one, it's a little bit different. For the rest of these, what was the next one? customer name. That would be coming out of the output of my research and letter gen. So output, and then I think customer name should show up here. Customer full name, let's use that one. The next one was account IDs. So that will again come out of my research and letter gen. It will be output, and it is, what do we call it? Account IDs, account numbers right there. So that's the same thing. The next one is account types. Again, coming out of my research and letter gen process. Again, it's an output. And this one is account types. And then total value of accounts. So this is going to be a number. This will again come out of my research and letter gen. It's going to be output. There should only be one number here. Yeah, there we go. So let's hit add. And then generated letter. I need to not lean over so much. I look like a troll. That's how I work when I'm just sitting here on my own. I'm probably gonna look like a hunchback the rest of my life. So generated letter, that will come out of research and letter gen. I also have moderately decent vision, so I don't know why I have to get so close. And then generated letter output. That's everything, right? So that's why this is disabled now, because there's no other things for us to map. We said that we would let them change. Yeah, I don't know why I left any of those for. Anyway, let's put here, we'll add a button. We'll call it, oh, we're missing a field too. Let's go back here. I forgot, we want to have the email address that we're sending to. So let's close this. That's going to require a change on verify funds and on the process. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add the email address as another text box. So it's a lot that we're showing them. Customer email address, excuse me. We're gonna let that one be editable. Generated letter. Actually, we don't want any of this to be well, yeah, I guess we can leave this. We'd have to regenerate the letter with this data. And that's gonna make the process super complex. So for right now, let's just leave it like this. This is only supposed to be like a getting started for AARI, and I don't want to make it so crazy that people won't understand what's going on. So that's working. For letter generation bot, we need to mark the user's email address as an output value so we have access to it in AARI. So let's go back to variables. We'll go here to customer email. It is marked as output. Man, didn't think that was the case. All right. I guess I was just thinking multiple steps ahead there. Let's go back here. We're going to add one more form element, which is our new one, customer email. It's going to come out of research and letter gen. It's an output value, and it's customer email. Boom. All right, so we got that. That looks like it's all okay. I'm going to hit apply here. We do have an issue going on right here. So let's see. Okay, so this is our send email. We'll add one more, but what are the options here? Primary. And then the other one would be cancel send, I guess. Proof of funds verification. All right. POF isn't like a bad acronym, right? Just make sure before I put that everywhere. It looks like it's a dating app. Okay, I don't see anything that's like super bad about it. I just want to make sure that wasn't like a bad word or something that I was putting into this. All right, and that's going to be a secondary button. That looks good. We'll hit apply. This has a process error. Runs a sequence of actions to see if the conditions are true. So this is a number value. If it's greater than 100,000, I'm not seeing what the issue is there. My else message would be, actually this is going to be another bot task right here, which is going to be send POF letter. Actually, you know what? I think we can get creative with this one. Let's cancel. Oops. I'm going to delete this. We're going to use a go-to statement there. And that's already here. So we'll do that here in a second. We're going to have, coming out of this, I don't know what this process error is. Let's look at the preview form. Maybe that'll give us some clue as to what's going on. This is just opening the form in the editor. All right, one more thing I wanted to add here was a hint. Where the email will be sent to review the output. All right, we'll hit save. And then we'll hit close. Let's go back to the proof of funds process. Again, if you have any questions or want to talk about some other bot building, we can do that. Just put it in the chat. I'm just building one that I actually have to build for work. So, all right, so we've got that. It didn't save my button. Maybe that's the problem. Let's say send email, hit apply. That did not resolve. Let's see it save. That did also not resolve. Let's add one more button. Cancel POF email. Make that a secondary. Apply and save. All right, so we modified that. The next thing we want to do is coming out of our human task. We want to check to see if they hit send email or cancel. So here, I think we can do this. Let's say validating high funds review. And then this condition would be, I guess, Boolean. Let's try that. For our variable, validate high funds, meta, nope, I don't have one there. Output, nope. Input, nope. All right, I gotta remember how to do this one. Wait, how did we do that before? Let me hit apply and save here. I thought it was a meta, but this isn't working. Save, close. Let's come back into this. Proof of funds. Let's make sure that we have the two. Yeah, there we go. Let's go back here to the meta. So it would be out of validating high funds. I think it's meta. Why is that not showing up? All right, let's go back here. I'm going to close this. I think I had another sample of these. Let's go back to my old environment, devx2. Okay, let's open this up. We're just going to take a look at a sample here. Again, for the people who are just joining, go ahead and, if you have questions or want to look at something else, bring it up in the chat. Otherwise, we'll just keep going with this AARI bot build. So this is, I think right here. Let's take a look at this one. Nope, it's in public. AARI for web. How did we pull the response? So here we had if status. Let's copy that. I'm going to check this out and see how that was done. Check it out. All right, AARI for web. Let's look at this process. I built this one a couple weeks ago, and I was, for source value, it was update. I thought it was meta. Yeah, why is that showing up here? And it's not on my process. Let's go back here. Maybe we added those buttons here. That might be it. No. Vertical. Checkbox group. All right, let's go back to this one. Make sure I'm not crazy. Is it a problem because of where it's located? Because this is having an error? If number condition for right now, let's delete this and see if that will help to resolve our issue. So I have two, let's go back here. Button label, that should be right. Save. Let me just change this real quick so we can reapply. Still getting an error on that. Because of this operator. Oh no, we're not getting an error here anymore. All right, let's see if this will fix it. So let's go to variable. This was our validate high funds. Should be meta. It's not showing up with those two buttons. Let's go back and look at this one. So here the button was okay, retry, and cancel. Here, oh, it's string condition. What was I doing? Boolean. That was on me. I goofed. So this should be research and letter gen, meta. There we go. So it would be status. And if that matches, what did we call it? Send email. Email, I think that's what I had. If that's equal to, then we actually want to send the email. That would be our next real bot. So let me add a bot task below that. And then that's going to be our send email bot. And then this task would be, this is how it's going to display in AARI web. So this would be sending email. And then this task would be, not there, bot store, AARI for web, send proof of funds email, and then this would be the output from our first bot, which is letter research, and the output, and then, oh, you know what? That's not right. We want to take this out of the high funds review, output, customer email address, because they may have updated it. Oh, but if we do that, it's not going to work for both. Okay, we'll do that for right now. I'll have to figure out how to fix that later. Letter location, so it's going to be validate high funds process, output, no, it's going to be research. Research and letter gen, output, and then this one, S generated letter output. And then the last one is the customer name, which is needed to send that email. And this would be research and letter generation, output, and this would be customer full name. Okay. The only issue we have right now, so this is a success. It's going to go for human review, and then we send. I guess that works. I was trying to make it more complex, but all right. So that's done. So again, just for review, the AARI process is kind of twofold, right? There's this process builder that we do, where we're basically matching together with our process flow human steps and bot steps and decisions, right? So this starts off with a human step, it goes to a bot step, we have some decisions, it goes to a human task again, and then we have a final bot task. That's married together with what we're doing here, which is some bot tasks, right? So we have these two bots, and then we also have these two forms that we created. So that's where all that fits. The next part is actually setting up AARI, but we've been going pretty long on this stream now. I'm gonna call it for now, and then maybe we'll do the stream later this afternoon or next week, and we'll get back on to finish the AARI part, which is really just the AARI configuration on the AARI website. Okay. So hopefully you're able to pick something up from this and at least learn how to build a bot and learn how to build an AARI process there. And like I said, we'll pick this up with the AARI stuff later on. Thanks for joining.